enough is enough, guys. I fear that in the health and wellness space, we have completely normalised an extremely unhealthy habit, and myself included. First and foremost, I would like people to be happier and healthier in a really, really, really easy and simple way. However, tell me why I am not taking my own advice, because I have been working late way too much. I've been slipping down this slippery road to burnout once again. And guys, I am no stranger to the slippery road to burnout. And I know I'm not alone, because there was a statistic I heard recently that really made me think, Faye, what are you doing? It is time to practice what you preach, on a podcast with Dr. Caitlin, talking all about the brain-gut axis. And she said that 81% of women have been so stressed that they cannot cope. And why does it not surprise me? And if I see that video of a podcast that shall not be named promoting this idea that burnout does not exist one more time, I swear to God, I will scream. So that was an extremely waffly way of saying, hello guys, welcome to my anti-burnout routine, the video that I am making to hold myself accountable, because it has been getting extremely unhealthy. And I also want to completely get rid of this idea that you have to be burning yourself out in order to achieve the things that you want to achieve. And there are a couple of strategies that I like to implement when I do notice myself feeling a little bit more tired and burnt out and unbalanced. So I hope you enjoy the video and make sure you stay around until the end, because that is possibly my favourite step in my anti-burnout nighttime routine. Let's go. I am going to possibly personally attack you, but if I'm personally attacking you right now, I am also personally attacking myself, because this step is for the girl who finds herself scrolling during the day and then ends up working late because of it. I'm not saying this is the case all the time. Sometimes it is just a really busy day. You have to work late to get everything done. But I have been finding myself getting so overwhelmed with the amount of work that I've got to do. And I feel like my coping strategy for that has been to scroll, because I'm stressed and I just don't really want to acknowledge how big my to-do list is. However, there is a really useful and simple piece of advice that I've been trying to follow over the last few days that has really helped. If anyone takes the mick out of how simple this is in the comments section, I will arrive and try and fight you, because it's a simple solution to a problem that I think all of us experience. And that is, the best way to have work-life balance is to work hard when you're meant to be working and to life when you're meant to be lifing. Obviously, this is way easier said than done when you have tech companies spending gazillions trying to keep you hooked and trying to keep you not focused. However, what I found has really helped is I literally have my Google Calendar open on my laptop every single day when I'm working, and every single time I start a new task, I create an event. And I don't know what it is about putting a task in my calendar that just seems to hold me so much more accountable than writing it down on a piece of paper or saying I'm going to do something for the next hour. It's like the calendar is God, and going against what the calendar says is sacrilegious. So that has been helping me stay a lot more focused during the day. But this is where the magic happens, because not only does it help me stay focused in the day, but when I've come to the end of the day and there are no more events on the calendar is telling me it is time to rest. And as I said before, going against calendar is sacrilegious. So step number one is the hard stop. When the work is done, it is done. We cannot expect our nervous system to switch between our productive, motivated mode to relaxation mode like a light switch. Our nervous system is so complex, and when different parts of our nervous system are activated, they release hormones, and hormone levels take a while to balance out and come down. So when the laptop is shut, the laptop is shut. It is not being opened again for the rest of the night. Do you hear me? And just like that, the working day has officially finished. Which brings me on to step 2, definitely the part of my anti-burnout routine that I wish I had implemented sooner, because not only is it better for your brain, it's also better for your skin. I'm going to need to put the mic down because it's about to get a little bit wet. If you feel exhausted in the day, but the moment that your head hits the pillow, your mind won't shut off, you probably need more evening wind down signals. What are those signals, I hear you ask? Truthfully, they are anything you choose that relaxes you personally. The most important part is you repeat them every single night so your nervous system begins to recognise them as signs the working day is over and it is time to decompress. Personally, I choose early skincare, A, because it leaves more time for my active ingredients to absorb into my skin before they are pressed up against my pillow. B, I found that when I did my skincare too late, I was tired and the water seemed to wake me up and I couldn't sleep. Look, you can choose what you want, I'm not going to judge, but there's something about the ritual of washing my face that feels like I'm washing away everything from the day. Next part of my anti-burnout routine is for the girlies who are not naturally tidy. I'm talking the women who have to work quite hard for their space to not be cluttered, and I am one of those individuals. Every single year since I can remember, one of my New Year's resolutions has been to be less untidy, because I just hate when anyone comes around here. It's just like this manic rush to try and make the flat tidy and presentable as quick as possible, because it is just not like that at baseline. At baseline, I just do not think I have the tidy gene that some people do. However, I recently put up a TikTok declaring that this was the year that ends. Come hell or high water, I am going to become a tidy girl. This is the only way in the entirety of my life I have ever been able to make this habit stick. If you're wondering, Faye, why is this even so important? Why can't you just live like a pig for the rest of your life? Surely it's just an aesthetic thing. It doesn't really matter. We don't all have to be clean girls. I agree to an extent. However, there is a fair bit of research into clutter making people more stressed and the benefits on our brain function, on our mental health, to having a more cohesive, organised environment. So, and I noticed that myself, if the flat is untidy, I don't want to tidy it, but it is still stressing me out. However, I am very, very, very proud of myself, because every single day of January 2026, I've managed to keep up this habit. And basically, all I do is I set a 10-minute timer and I tell myself I'm going to tidy for 10 minutes. That is it, with no expectations or outcomes attached. If the flat is not tidy at the end of the 10 minutes, that is absolutely fine. I'm just allocating 10 minutes of my time every single day to tidying. The beauty of this is 10 minutes is no time at all. I'm never not going to have 10 minutes in my day to just quickly put everything where it needs to be. So I'm going to do that right now. And there is even an added benefit that I have not even mentioned. My Current Body LED mask is on a 10-minute timer anyway. So I put my LED mask on, clip it onto my bottoms, clip it onto my top, whatever, wear my LED mask and get my tidying done. And then when the LED mask has gone off, done. 2 birds, 1 stone. Genius. The most important feature to look out for if you're looking into buying an LED mask is making sure the mask is the right strength, the right wavelength, and has actually been rigorously tested. Guys, I'm going to be so brutally honest, but some of the red light masks I see influencers promoting on social media make me want to scream. Current Body is the only LED mask brand on the market that tests every single one of the LED lamps in their masks, and they even give you a card with the mask that allows you to trace the history of testing for the product, called a Veritas card. But what drives me absolutely wild about some of the other LED masks that I've seen other influencers promoting is they're pretty expensive, and some people clearly disagree, but I think that if you're spending a sum of money on a product, that product should be rigorously tested and proven to actually make a difference. Personally, I've noticed the biggest difference around my forehead, my nasolabial folds, and my skin texture just looks smoother, and my redness has definitely gone down. Another example of why the Current Body mask is just way superior is the flexibility in the mask. Now, if you have a rigid mask that doesn't move to fit the shape of your face, that isn't going to be helpful for getting the results that you want. Another issue in other masks is the LED lamps aren't evenly spaced out, or even they don't have any bulbs over key common areas that you might want to target for fine lines and plumpness. I have done a lot of research on different LED masks on the market, and without a shadow of a doubt, Current Body comes out on top every single time. If you did want your own Current Body LED mask, then I will leave a discount code on screen now so you can get a little bit of money off. And if you wanted a deeper dive into the comparisons between the Current Body LED mask and other LED masks on the market, then I will also leave a video on screen now that will help you guide your decisions when it comes to purchasing. I really can't stand self-care videos that focus solely on pampering and neglect some of the really key issues most of us face in our day-to-day lives, like having no time. And I don't know about you, but when I have no time, the first thing that slips is my nutrition, and in turn that impacts my energy levels, my digestion, my productivity, and even my sleep. So I wanted to test out a recipe I found on TikTok that claimed to be quick. However, I often find these videos that make these claims are not quick at all or taste really bad. So I set a timer to check it out for you guys. Of course, I will keep you updated on the taste and leave the recipe link in the description if I feel it passes the test. 23 minutes, not bad. But this, my friends, this is without a shadow of a doubt my favourite part of the entire routine. Now, I would not normally encourage eating in front of the TV. I think it's far better to be mindful about what you're eating and communicate with any significant other people in your life. However, there is something about, after a busy day, plonking yourself in front of a good series and just completely decompressing with a good old plate of comfort food. And that is what I fully intend to do. Oh, I cannot wait. Let's just have one little quick try so that I can fully confirm or deny whether this is a good meal for you to make. I'm not exactly doing this how the food bloggers would, in a super aesthetic way, but it is satisfying nonetheless. Oh. That is so good. We've recently got into these historical series on Netflix, and this one was about the end of the Russian Empire, which I will also leave in the description. It feels slightly less guilty to binge because it is educational. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next one.